Welcome to Overwatch. In tonight's broadcast, we'll have the pleasure of casting a scrim between the two teams from the Overwatch University League in the NA region. I'm one of your hosts, Kabooks, doing play-by-play. Also with me tonight is my co-host, Feeney, who will be your color caster.
Thank you for the introduction, Kabooks. Tonight during this scrim, we're going to have Burn Damage going up against Squid Squad, and looks like our first map's going to be King's Row here.
If you guys are interested in learning more about us or how you can get involved in one of the largest recreational Overwatch leagues, follow the links to the subreddit page in the channel description. From there, you can follow Overwatch University by joining the Discord channel. You can also find the official Overwatch University channel at twitch.tv/OWUniversity.
So it looks like from the side of Squid Squad, we're going to have the one Smurf on Ana, OWUL on that Diva, Flav on Lucio, the name is on Genji, Obesity on Zarya, and Crimit on Winston.
Yes, definitely. And we're going to be seeing Pharmacy coming out from Nightmare and Lucky Owl. So looks like we're going to have to... The other team's going to have a difficult time focusing that down because they don't really have any hit scan. What do you think about that, Feeney?
Yeah, I'm not sure how it plays out either, but it might not matter because Squid Squad is running a very, very aggressive lineup here with Lucio on that speed boost, as well as Genji, Winston, Zarya getting ready to just dive and giving the backline of Burn Damage a hard time. So we're going to see how it plays out here, as it looks like Crimit is jumping in already with that Zarya bubble.
Yes, and they're already dive comp here. They're going to be launching onto the point. Winston jumping in the backline, trying to keep those healers. As one of the supports is going to be going down. That's a huge pick for the other team as they're going to be pushing in here. They're taking over the point, and then the Genji does get taken out by Nightmare. There are two picks. It's a 5v5 right now for each team, so it's a pretty even fight as fight is going to be breaking out here. It looks like blue team is going to be holding off the push as Achilles does manage to take out Diva's mech here, but they don't really want to give up the fight too much as there's a really nice pin going out from Reinhardt. He does manage to pin Zarya, and looks like the fight is going to be being held as they're going to have to back up and regroup.
Burn Damage did a really good job handling that dive. Their backline supports backed up under the archway along with their tanks. And even though Winston and Zarya comboed and dived on their backline, they were so clumped up enough that it didn't really matter that they were diving the backline as the tanks were right there to defend them. So really good job by Burn Damage for handling the dive.
It looks like the team's going to be pushing in here. Reinhardt with a ballsy charge coming out from red. He doesn't pin anyone, he does get flashed. The Earth Shatter is going to come out from red. Doesn't get anyone as the Ana Boost is coming out along with the Transcendence from Charming. The Hog does come out, but Divas manages to defense matrix it. There goes a sound barrier from blue team. Grizz does manage to take out Ana, which is a huge pick. And then Grizz also pops attack visor there, taking out the other support. Both supports are down for red team as well, the Names also manages to take out Zenyatta, and blue team's going to be finishing up red team here, and they're going to be holding the point for a little while longer.
And Squid is doing a really good job of playing that Reinhardt, especially that initial Earth Shatter getting blocked was pretty big, but Burn Damage managed to come back with the whole hog as well, and it looks like Squid was not ready for it, and as a result, their front line kind of got annihilated, especially with that Reinhardt, even though he did block the Earth Shatter, and Burn Damage just came back together and held onto the point.
A Graviton Surge is coming out from Zarya, manages to get a few from the enemy team, but doesn't get any picks off. High Noon is going to come out from McCree, but Grizzly does manage to take him out. The point is almost out to the first tick as Grizz does manage to finish from McCree there. Reinhardt is going to go down, as well as Mercy, and also Zarya. So it looks like at this point it's going to be held because they've lost both of their tanks. Luckily, they do have Mercy Res coming up soon, so they're going to need to save that for this last final push. They only have about one more push left.
Yeah, it's like you said before, looks like Burn Damage is going to have a lot of ults on deck. It's going to be a little bit hard for Squid Squad to push one more time here as they are holding up that ult, but the holds that does. Earth Shatter does manage to get 4.
A really nice Bear Shadow from Reinhardt, and the Rocket Barge is coming out from Nightmare. A huge pick on the McCree there. The Sound Barrier is going to come out from Lucio with the hammer down from Reinhardt, taking out both supports. But Lucky Owl with the res managed to res Reinhardt and Lucio. The attack visor is coming out from the Smurf, managing to take out a DPS player and Lucio. And this point is going to be going back and forth because Grizz does get that tech visor, takes out 2 from the red team, and then red with a really nice fire strike on that Lucio. McCree is stuck in the back here, and he's trying not to get staggered.
Yeah, Bird Damage is doing a really good job here defending. I thought that that was going to be it when they had that nice format Earth Shatter, but it looks like they're still holding on. Grizzly does manage to take out the Navis and that McCree. And Achilles gets another pick on Obesity as well. But however, it looks like Earth Shatter does get blocked again, and the res does come out for on this side of Obesity. And it looks like one more fight's about to break out here inside both teams.
Charming does drop the sound barrier there. He's just trying to keep his team alive and stay on the point. High Noon is going to come out from McCree again. He's going to be high nooning from the top there. He's not going to get anyone, but Red is going ham here, taking out Obesity, and Achilles also finishing out names. And this point is going to be held for blue team.
And yeah, that was a really good defense by Burn Damage, but I think Squid Squad was pretty much about to take it there, especially after getting that huge format Earth Shadow at the beginning and cleaning up. And even though Burn Damage did manage to get a 2-man res, it looks like they weren't ready for that soldier in the top, as they pretty much got clear vision with that tactical visor and just managed to get cleaned up there. So really good job by Burn Damage for tucking in that tactical visor and waiting until the last possible moment to get a really big effective ult.
Yes, that tech visor really helped them hold the point at the end. He managed to take out 2 really nice picks there. When we're looking at the team comps, both teams are going to be running a Mercy this time around as well. And Achilles is going to be on that Widowmaker. What do you think about this Widowmaker pick, Feeny?
I really do like Widowmaker on this point, and because it's really not too risky to run the Widowmaker on the attacking side, because you can just get a quick pick. And then, if it doesn't work out, they can always just swap back. You don't lose too much on your ult economy. But however, it looks like the game was started. I think we're having a few lag issues here. I think someone's getting 120 ping. It looks like 180 ping is coming out here, but it looks like they're just resetting the map, and we are going to be running the same map. But yeah, like I said before, Widow, I really like Widow on offense here because it's just really easy. Or not really easy, just like really effective if you get a pick, and if you don't, then oh well, you can just swap off and just go to a normal hero. So I really like these first point Widows on these 2 CP maps.
Yes, and it's really good. Once you get that pick, you do have that advantage to start pushing in. We're going to be seeing Mercy again on both sides, as well as Genji for attack, which he's been able to go in that back line and deal some damage there. We're going to be seeing... Oh, looks like they're switching off the Mercy, and they're going to be going Ana. So we're going to have Ana's on both teams, but we're going to have Obesity being on Lucio. What do you think about this Lucio pick, especially on defense?
I think Lucio on defense is pretty good, actually, because, like I said before, Burn Damage on that defense was doing a really good job of rotating from the front line to going back to the archway and defending against the dive. And Lucio just makes that even a whole lot better by, rotating your team really fast with that speed boost. So I think I quite like Lucio here, especially in this big open map too, when your team can get really spread out without you noticing it. That speed boost will just give you that chance to regroup and hold against whatever strat they're going to run against, whether it be going up the top, going through the hotel. You can just react to it much faster with Lucio.
Yeah, also the sound barrier is also very good against Genji ultimates. Be able to put that sound barrier down and basically protect your team from that Genji ult. Looks like we're going to be underway here as Squid Squad is going to be pushing in almost immediately with Reinhardt pushing around the choke here. It looks like they're going to be going right around the statue. No, they're going to be going straight through, pushing straight onto the point. Yeah, straight onto the point, and they're going to be fighting it out here. And Reinhardt does do the volley charge. Doesn't manage to get anyone though. As he gets bullied off, Genji just managed to go in the back line. He looks like he's going for a pick there, but Reinhardt is bullying him, trying to force him off those healers. He does get flashed, but doesn't get a. He does manage to get taken down by names. So really nice pick. Does manage to finish off Reinhardt, but the res does come in really quickly. Really nice res off from Lucky Owl, and that's what they need to push in. Reinhardt does get taken out by names there. It looks like without their tank, they're going to be pushing back, but with Reinhardt with really nice hammer down, does manage to take out both supports. A Smurf with a nice play taking out both supports there, and they're going to have to fall back because they lost two of their most important players.
Yeah, it looks like Grizzly just got picked out on the way out. So a nice little stagger there on the side of Squid Squad. Yeah, that was a good job on Name is Square on that McCree taking out that Genji, as well as Flav getting a nice anti-heal on Red Koala. Getting him out on Reinhardt was huge, and as a result, they managed to pretty much overpower them. Even though Lucky Owl did get that nice quick res, unfortunately, everyone was already spread out, and when she did get that 3-man res, everyone was just ready to take him out, like the Name is on that McCree, taking out Genji once again. So great defense by Squid Squad here.
And there's the Graviton Surge does come out with that sound barrier, trying to defend against that Graviton. Smurf with his tax visor managed to take out both DPS players. Huge picks because they won't have enough damage to take out their team as they're forced back through the choke and back towards their spawn as they have to wait for their DPS players to get back to them. Reinhardt charging straight in, trying to get a pick on the D.Va, but doesn't quite manage to. Looks like they're going to be splitting up. A few going Hotel and Zarya pushing in onto point. Oh, they're going to be backing up. Looks like they're going to go as a team as Red gets a really nice Flame Strike on Flame. That's what they need to push in. He also takes out DPS. Both Earth Shatters are going to be coming out, but Achilles just managed to capitalize on it, taking out both of their tank players as well as one of their healers. And it looks like this point is going to be going to burn damage here.
Yeah, great job at burn damage there. I was kind of wondering why they weren't taking advantage of that Hotel, because when they do those pushes, they usually go around and just push the middle, but they didn't get a chance to push the Hotel. But once they did take advantage of that, you can see that Red Koala and Grizzly just put a lot of pressure on their back line. And once they finally got a pick on Flav especially, then they just pop all their ults there with Grizzly on that Dragon Blade and Red Koala on that Earth Shatter as well. It's a really good job by burn damage for, you know, pressuring Squid Squad and managing to get a pick and make it happen.
Looks like Squid Squad's going to try to contest in this choke here as burn damage is going to be pushing up the point. They're going to have, looks like Reinhardt is going to be charging in here. He does manage to pin one of the DPS. Rez is going to be coming up from Lucky Owl, rezzing both of them. Zariel is going to be coming out as well as the D.Va Bomb. Doesn't get anyone though. The Genji is going to be on a boosted with attack pressure coming out from Nightmare. He does manage to finish off D.Va, and Grizz does in the backline, taking out names. Red with that really good fire strike on Flame there, just managed to take On out, which is a really nice pick, and it looks like they're going to be pushing up towards the second point.
Yeah, that was a really good res by the Lucky Owl there. They were not going to push through unless she got off that res. And then as well as Achilles on that Zarya, getting a nice Graviton Surge as well, setting up the rest of Squid Squad to push, or rest of the burn damage to fall through. So good job by popping those two ults, but it looks like the one Smurf here is with the pop technical visor and nano is about to go off.
Yes, he managed to sneak behind and take out both of their supports and both of their DPS, which is a huge play, and that like halts the push completely as he just destroys their backline there. Really nice play by Smurf.
Yeah, that was good. Squid Squad did that pretty well, and it wasn't really too risky because they knew that they already used all their ults from the last push. So it was only a matter of time until they, dumped all their ults and pretty much have the ult economy back to even ground. So good job on capitalizing on that and not getting shut down with that tactical advisor and nano boost combo.
Definitely, and it looks like the teams are both poking at each other, trying to get some ult charge as Red is starting to push in here, trying to contest the cart. Genji is behind. He is looking for that pick. Earth Shatter is going to be coming out as well as Dragon Blade. Grizzly does manage to take out Smurf there as Achilles finishes off Mercy. Mercy wasn't close to Rez, but it's good to take her out because she won't be able to get that charge from that fight. Kermit is going to be doing a fire strike on Nightmare, taking him out. One of the DPS is going to be going down. Looks like this point is going to be being held by Squids here, but not before Grizzly takes out names, which could be a problem if the red team just starts to capitalize on it, as Achilles also takes out Ana, which could be the pick they need to push in right now, but they really have to regroup and focus on it.
Yeah, that was a good play, and one thing that happened before that huge fight was the Name is on the side of Squid Squad getting a huge pick on Lucky Owl, and pretty much what they're going to do is they're about to fight and then have Lucky Owl res them all. But the Name is pretty much shut down that whole push by sneaking up, getting a nice pick on Mercy. And then once they realized that the Lucky All was already dead, it was already too late, and as they were already getting wiped out by Squid Squad. So really good job there by one Smurf.
The Graviton is going to be coming out from Zari here, and Nightmare does manage to finish off names. Smurf is going to be slept on the second balcony right there, and Tackvisor is going to be coming out, but not for Obesity. Does res both Ana and names. Tackvisor is coming out from Smurf with that extra Ana boost. He's able to do that more damage, taking out both supports there, but Lucky All with that res. He's been holding it all game. Now he uses it, and the Graviton Surge does come out from Zarya. Doesn't quite manage to finish off Red Team though, as Smurf does manage to finish off Charming, which could be a pick they need to defend, but with only Smurf on the point and the entire team of burn damage is not going to be enough, and they're going to be taking the second point.
Lucky All with that nice res there. Even though OWUL was ready with that Graviton Surge after the res, it was a little bit too much for them as they just pushed on through with that Tactical Visor. So great res by Lucky All to start it off, and great job by the rest of burn damage to just capitalize on it.
Looks like burn damage is going to be pushing around this corner, but not if Squid Squad has anything to say about it. It looks like they're going to be contesting up here, as Grizzly does go up top, trying to get a pick on Mercy there. She just fall back towards the back of her team. Achilles is going to be defending on the cart. Smurf does manage to take out Grizzly, as Kermit does charge in. A little ballsy charge, to be honest, as he gets taken out by Red. A really nice sleep by Ana does stop the whole hog from happening from Red. Achilles just managed to take out Ana though, and this could be the pick they need, but Obesity with the res is both Genji and Ana, as the Dragon Blade comes out from Grizz's, killing Ana again. Smurf does use his ultimate, does manage to finish off Red. The Lucky Owl does use his res there to res one tank and DPS to push Ana at the point. Looks like they have the momentum. Squid is going to be trying to contest this as they start to stagger in one after another, but they all get taken out one by one as Obesity has switched to Tracer to try to stall. Names is going to pop that Dragon Blade, but a really nice sleep by Ana, just canceling out entirely. Kermit with a really nice hammer down, does manage to hammer down a few, but doesn't quite get the push it needs to take them all out. They are getting back their footing though, as they're holding on this point. Grizz is the only one on this point now, and he does get pushed off, and that's going to be round one.
Great job by Squid Squad there at the end. Towards the beginning of the fight, they really had awkward ult timings. Like Genji was only 80% there, Reinhardt was only like 70% there, so they weren't really all together, all coordinated. And a few ults did get popped off before, like Earthshatter came out, like Tactical Visor came out on both sides, but unfortunately it was a little bit too early for Squid Squad. So burn damage managed to just push on through the point by just having all their ults and using their ult economy very well. But towards the end there, Squid Squad managed to come through and with all their ults, with Genji on Dragon Blade, even though he did get slept, but then the Earthshatter, getting a 3-man Earthshatter was big as well. So then they managed to defend it. So good job by Squid Squad, even though it's a little bit hard for them for that little bit awkward ult timing, it managed to work out for them towards the end.
Definitely, and it came down to ult management at the end. Reinhardt did say that did manage to get that hammer down, and even though it didn't get a lot of picks, it stopped the momentum, and it gave his team the ability to push back on that point and contest and hold it and finally take it back. Trumu, what do you think about that last fight?
Okay, it looks like Truman is having technical difficulties right now, which is all right. But yeah, overall that map was pretty good. Most of it came down to ult timing, as you saw before. Like burn damage would push in, and then Squid Squad would just kind of capitalize because they realized they used to use all their ults in the corner. What I really would like to talk about is the first point on that map. It was really nice to see both teams kind of adapt against each other's strategies, whether it be diving, whether they be going to the hotel. It was just nice to see that they were able to react accordingly. Even though it ended up going to whoever had the better ult economy, it was nice to see the strategy and the depth between those two teams.
Yes, towards the end there, it definitely did evolve into a game of who had Mercy Res and who had Hammer Down, because around the fights, both soldiers are popping the ults and getting good picks, but it really mattered who had that Mercy Res at the end to undo all of that. And it turned out that one team was able to defend over the other one, and now we are on to Hanamura, and we're going to be seeing a Mei, which is always like to see a Mei on defense here.
Yeah, how do you think this Mei's going to play out on defense?
Exceptionally well. If you can have full holds on Hanamura defense with Mei's if you use them correctly. What usually happens is Mei blocks off a team member if they push in with a nice wall at the choke, and everyone just focuses that team member. But it looks like they're going to have a little difficulty doing that because Burn Damage is going to be running some sort of form of dive comp with Winston as their only tank.
Yeah, they're gonna. This Mei is going to be a little bit less effective because usually if you would like to have a Reinhardt just to get blocked off, and we're going to have this Winston and this Genji and this Pharah, and to some extent this Tracer, pretty much walk right or fly right past to the wall. So I'm not sure how this Mei is going to play out, but this Mei is still effective even if they're not putting walls on the gate. It's going to be effective onto the point as well, just blocking off points of entry and blocking off essentially like points of damage against the other team.
Yes, especially with a dive comp, what Burn Damage needs to do is they need to dive in hard and fast. And Achilles does manage to take on one of their tanks, and that's the pick they need to push in. But that Mei wall is there, trying to hold them back. But they do, because of their dive comp is so flexible, they do manage to push around as Ana does go down, which is a huge pick as well. But Smurf, in that back line, sneaking behind him, takes out both supports. A really nice plan. A really nice play on Smurf there, and he just managed to take him out. Grizz is going to manage to take out Mercy there, and it looks like they're going to be holding on to this point as Grizz is trying to contest, but he's not with his team, and he's going to need to fall back. But Red does jump in, and his team is here. They're trying to contest. They really don't lose this point, but Smurf punishes him and finishes him off. It looks like Red team's going to need to fall back here.
Yeah, and while Grizzly does get a nice pick on the one Smurf, looks like Burn Damage is trying to push in here. It looks like they are slowly but surely wiped out here as Grizzly does manage to die from a good shot from Mei. Yeah, it looks like Burn Damage is still trying to push in here despite the fact that they're a little bit staggered right here as Charming does get taken out on Winston and Name does get a nice shot on Pharah with that right click, and it looks like it does take out Lucky Owl as well. And Squid is going to be defending pretty well here, and Burn Damage just needs to regroup right here, just get their footing, because at the first push, Burn Damage was doing really well. They got nice Discord on Roadhog and managed to get a nice pick on that Thara, but it kind of fell apart there towards the middle when Koala dived in on the left side instead of the right side of his team and managed to get picked out by Mei. And then looks like Red Koala is going to be a Roadhog here, but that Winston could have been a little bit more effective if they were with their team and diving the enemy backline. So it's good that Burn Damage is regrouping now, but that past minute or so was a little bit staggered for them.
Yes, it looks like Red is going to be blocked off by that really well-placed Mei wall. Grizz is using his Pulse Bomb to take out Ana, which could be a huge pick, but they're kind of staggered right now, as Smurf does pop his Tact Visor, getting one pick off of it. Kermit has switched to Winston. He was Reinhardt before, I believe, and he has switched to Winston. And we're seeing this a lot on defense against Dive, so like an anti-dive comp, running D.Va and Winston. What do you think about those two working together on defense?
I definitely like it, especially on defense against Genji as well. But look at Self-Destruct goes and gets a nice pick on Lucky Owl, and it looks like Burn Damage is going to have to wait here and wait for the Mercy. But yeah, that Winston pick is really nice because one, it's a pretty nice counter against Genji, obviously, for that heat-seeking gun. But as well as on like big open space maps like this, it's really dive comps are really mobile by nature, and it's really nice to have a Winston to just dive in or jump in whenever they are and just counter to the dive right away. So it's really nice to see Winston on defense to not only to deal with this Genji, but to just deal with the other dive characters like Pharah as well.
Yes, and even though Red has switched to Reinhardt, Grizz's and Nightmare are both still on flankers, and Winston is punishing them severely for trying to jump in. And also, because they have a Reinhardt now, the Mei wall is going to be twice as effective, able to being able to block him off. Winston does pop his Primal Rage. He is trying to finish him off. The Rez is coming up from Lucky Owl. Rez's Reinhardt immediately a Nightmare with that Dragon Blade focuses down the DPS and does manage to take him out. And looks like this point is going to be going to burn damage here.
Burn damage doing a really good job of capitalizing on that May pick there. The moment they got that, they just rushed right in. Genji popped that Dragon Blade. Transcendence was popped as well. Not sure if it was really needed, but you know, it's fine. They'll get another ult next fight. But overall, really good capitalization on getting that May pick and pretty much just diving under the point.
Definitely, and they are going to be pushing up top right here, but most of their team staggered, so they're going to have to wait for their team to come back. So it looks like they're going to have to regroup and try to push up top right here as Reinhardt pushes in. He does manage to take out one, but his entire team is not here, so he won't be able to capitalize on it, and he uses Hammer Down there, which was questionable, but he does get taken out, and Mercy, funnily enough, just finishes off Grizzly there.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a misplay there by Red Koala popping in that ultimate. Even if he did get 4 or so, they didn't really have the heroes unposition or the other ults to follow up. So they didn't get too much value out of it, but you know, that's okay. They're gonna pretty much regroup and have the ult. But it looks like Grizzly over here is going to be on the point, distracting the team, while the rest of Burn Damage is about to push into the top right here.
And you see Winston jumping in that backline, trying to get at those supports, but he is bullied off by Reinhardt, and Roadhog is going to try to focus him, as you said, Roadhog is Winston's counter. The Pulse Bomb is going to come out from Grizzly, but doesn't quite manage to latch onto the supports, as Kermit is back in their backline, trying to bully their supports, as he is going to get taken out by Red there. Most of the red team is extremely spaced out. Lucky Owl with that res does res back far and Roadhog, and it looks like they're going to be pushing in, trying to capitalize on that. But with their Zenyatta down, who had Transcendence, is going to be hard to sort of hold on at this point, as Smurf is going to pop his Tac Visor, and is going to be taking out Lucky Owl. So with both supports down, Burn Damage has no other choice but to die or fall back.
That was actually really fun to watch the name on that May. He was just sitting at the top, taking care of Zenyatta and Pharah, just kind of sniping them off the ground. It was a little bit different from what I usually see from Maze, but it was really interesting to watch having them get shot down. And it was charming on that Mercy got a nice 2-man res, but unfortunately they weren't able to close it out, pushing in that top right there, as the name is just really controlling the space here, taking out Achilles and possibly taking out Pharah as well.
Yeah, and Red does use his charge, but doesn't get anyone and falls back into the spawn of the blue team and immediately get taken out by Kermit, as well as a few others. Smurf is going to be taking out Nightmare, and with 2 people down, Burn Damage is going to need to fall back and regroup. A 3rd person down, Kermit is just jumping on their back line, destroying their supports as he just pushes in, and it looks like they're going to be switching Achilles on Winston now to try to get that focus on their supports as well.
Yeah, Burn Damage really needs to regroup here. Oh, it looks like they do manage to get the name is on that May finally and gets 2 picks, but it looks like OWUL gets 2 res off and trying to get away from Reinhardt. Unfortunately, he does get taken out, and Squid is still holding that top right really well. Meanwhile, we have May coming in, blocking off, but it looks like McCree is coming up top here, trying to challenge both DPS players, but gets flashbang immediately, and Nightmare gets taken down by McCree. It looks like Squid Squad is going to hold this top right here.
Yes, Primal Rage does come out from Kermit, but it was not a bad use, because he does manage to take out one of their main DPS, and that forces Burn Damage to fall back. But with only 10 seconds left, they need to hop onto that point immediately if they want to contest. Tac Visor is going to be coming out, as well as the May ult, but none of them are on point, and round 1 is done.
Triple kill.
Burn Damage is really needed to group up there, not only on the 2nd point, but on the 1st point as well. Because when they push pretty well. Like, taking the 1st point together was pretty well executed. And the first moments of Burn Damage offense was really good as well, getting a nice pick off Roadhog and just pushing in. But unfortunately, they just weren't able to capitalize by not grouping up and overall just getting picked off by Squid Squad. So good job on Squid Squad for capitalizing. But if burn damage was just a little bit more coordinated when they actually get into the point, they would be able to get lots of work done based on what we've seen, what they can do on their times when they actually execute really well.
Definitely, and it looks like Obesity is going to need to restart his game. So we're going to have a few minutes here to talk about the last fight. Overall, I think it was a really good fight for both teams, but bird damage was extremely staggered, especially towards the end where they just kept going in one after another and dying over and over and over again. And Krimmer on that Winston managing to jump into that backline and do extreme damage to the supports and focusing on them, keeping burn damage staggered worked extremely well in Squid's favor.
Yeah, and it looks like they are about to unpause here in a moment. But in the meanwhile, we have our producer here, Trumo. Trumo, what do you think about this game so far and both teams' performance? Hey, thanks for coming in. Yeah, that's a good point by Truma there. I really like May on the side of defense there. It was a little bit untraditional defense, or like at least how she was effective. Like usually you just see walls and just block off damage and block off people coming in, but it was really nice to see like the overall space control that the name was giving. Posting up on the top of Hanamura or on the second point of Hanamura and just either getting nice right clicks off on Farah or just blocking off the top right offense as well. So overall, it was really enjoyable to see that May defense. Even though it was a little bit untraditional, it was really entertaining to watch.
Yes, it was extremely entertaining to watch. And as we hop into the second match, we're going to be seeing a complete dive coming out from Squid Squad. But they're not going to be playing Azari. They're only going to have one tank, which is going to be Winston, Genji, and Tracer serving as those flankers, with also having a Mercy, which can farm Mercy with Smurf, and also Lucio to boost in. And as we hop into the game here, they're going to be spreading out, and they're going to be pushing as Winston jumps in on their backline, trying to focus down that Mercy, but Mercy is attached to Nightmare, using him as a leverage to push away as Nightmare does take out one of the flankers. Lucio is on the point. Kermit singling out that soldier, which is a huge pick, as the dive does kind of center around the point and collapse onto it, as Aunt Charming, who is on Ana, does go down, which is a huge pick. With if they don't have enough heals, they're going to be taken out more quickly. With only Mercy able to heal, she does also fall down to Genji, and this point is going to be going in the hands of Squid Squad.
Yeah, let's burn damage. Nightmare on the side of burn damage. I was trying to get something done, but unfortunately, it does get picked up by the name is here. And Squid Squad did a really good job of just pushing in there and going as a team. While they didn't get the initial pickoff, Obesity on that Tracer managed to dive right in and give a lot of space for Squid Squad, pretty much taking that middle point really fast. And as a result, they're about to get on the first point, and the second point looks like it is about to be theirs as well. The one first gets a nice pick on Mercy, but burn damage counters back as well. But Overly gets a two-man res, and the fight is going to continue on here as Kermit takes out Charming on that Ana, picked off there, and it looks like Dragon Blade does get popped on the name is, pops Dragon Blade, the Flash Ring misses and manages to take out Mercy, and there's only Kata left on that Diva, and she does manage to get down as well, and it looks like burn damage, or Squid Squad is going to take this pretty handily.
Yes, they're really showing what a dive comp is meant to be. They took the first point, then they immediately hopped into the second point. Mercy was saving that res just in case two of her people died, and with that res on that Winston and Genji, they're able to finish off the point, because even if Winston died, I would recommend soloing Winston because he is crucial to the dive comp. And once he was res back up to full health, he was able to, with Genji and that Dragon Blade, finish off and take the point.
Yeah, definitely. And the Winston is also crucial to that dive comp just because you dive and harass the backline, but he's also crucial for just helping out the team build out ults. One of the biggest things that dive comps are really good at is just if you get a really good ult advantage at the beginning, you can just push right into the second point because the team on defense does not have ults, and so the offensive team can just use all their offensive ults and just roll on right over with their huge ult advantage. So really good job on Bird Damage or Squid Squad for seeing that and just capitalizing on it.
Definitely. And as we see, dive comp is usually in the meta. It's in the meta right now, and I'm interested to see what kind of defenses are going to form because everyone's starting to use dive comp. I know I've heard that Winston and D.Va are used as counter dive comp to be played on defense. And I did see before they were running a Winston and a D.Va to counter Burn Damage's dive comp, and during the first match, how effective do you think that was, Feeney?
I think D.Va could be effective, but in the last match we saw, I don't think it was too effective. I just think we need to, as the meta flushes out, people will realize how to go against dive comp because we see a lot of heroes coming out like Orisa and Zarya is also becoming popular just for that huge damage mitigation. And if you can figure out how to get D.Va in the mix as well, blocking damage with a defense matrix, then I think we're gonna have a really good chance of people figuring out how to go against dive comps. But right now they're just so strong just from that, you can harass the backline and you can get a huge ult advantage if you play it right.
Definitely. And our next map, it looks like it's going to be Hollywood. You think they're going to go run dive again for attack?
Probably. Either team can run dive. There's definitely going to be a Pharah here, or at least I think there should be a Pharah here. Tracer could also be good as well. Grizzly on that Tracer has been pretty good for not only getting pretty nice picks, but for just making a lot of space for burn damage. Just like in the last map you saw, Grizzly just dived right in and just used her blinks and just got to work on the back line. And while he didn't kill anyone per se, he just made a lot of space for burn damage. And I think that'll be really useful here on Hollywood if you can make a lot of space by wrapping, like for example in the first point, if you wrap around the left side, you can get a pick, or you can just make space for your team to push through that choke, because that choke is really killer, especially if you're going against Reinhardt or Orisa or even a Mei, as you sometimes see. So overall, I think that dive comps are pretty effective here if you're on offense on the first point. Whether you're going to get picks or not, it doesn't really matter because you just make so much space from your dive comp.
Yes, and once you push in, Winston dives straight in, does hop onto the point and starts focusing those healers, what he always does on attack. And Genji and Tracer or any flanker really hops into the back line and also destroys it with Winston. I was surprised we never actually saw Zarya to help with the dive. You think they'd have an easier time if they have a Zarya to bubble the Winston and provide more tanks?
Possibly, but the one thing that Blizzard has been working against Zarya is you get charged pretty slowly now, but once you get to 100 energy, you're really up there. But if you think about it, Zarya is a pretty big investment, and even if you do run Winston Zarya for that nice combo, and Winston gets a really nice boost from it, Zarya itself, if Zarya does get taken out or Zarya does get get high energy and it does get taken out as well, then it's just a lot of energy just lost right there, and you have to build it up again. So a lot of teams right now aren't really while the Zarya is still nice, it's still a big investment for some teams to take apart. So I would like to see Winston Zarya just because I still think that it's still really strong in dive comps, but I can see why teams are opting not to run Zarya as well.
Yes, as you said, Zarya is an extremely big investment, and her ultimate, unlike the others, charges pretty slowly, even with good Zaryas. And that doesn't necessarily help when you have a dive comp. when you rush in, you take the first point, then you go to the second point. Zarya might not have her ultimate, so that's one ultimate down, which in a situation where you could have 6 ultimates up just because you didn't run a Zarya.
Yeah, definitely. And I think actually Zarya is one of the few heroes on this map where I actually do really like on either offense or defense, just to take, because there's a lot of grounds that to take, right? Like you have this high ground on this cafe here, and you have the high ground on the I don't know what to call this area, but the one with the like the 2 Gatorade bottles, but you know those 2 areas, and the as well as if they run Torb as well in the back right, you can use Zarya to just dive right in with Winston and just take that space. So I actually do like Zarya here on offense, but we're gonna see if they are going to run it. It looks like we are gonna see Zarya on defense, Kato on that Zarya, which I think is a good pick as well as the Tracer pick on Grizzly. And like we saw before, Grizzly was making a lot of space on that Tracer, and I would like to see more of that in this map as well.
Definitely, and a strange pick coming out from Squid Squad. Oh, he was on Torbjorn, but he switched off. I think he was just messing with us.
Yeah, I saw that, and I just didn't not want to get trolled, so...
They're probably messing with us again because Kremen is going to be on Torbjorn. I doubt he'll stay on Torbjorn. He's probably going to switch off. But as we see, we have Tracers both on defense and attack. Lucio's pretty similar comps around. The only difference is Kermit's going to be on that Genji and Kaito is going to be on that Zarya. So as we're underway here, Winston's going to be jumping in. I expect them to jump in pretty quickly with a dive. It's all about time. As Winston just unfortunately missed that jump here, they're going to be pushing around behind. They're going to be taking the high ground instead as Tracer does try to dive in the back line trying to deal with those healers. As Winston is going to be jumping onto point, Grizzly in that backline trying to kill those people in the backline. Grizzly does manage to take out Smurf, which is a nice pick. Both Farah does manage to take out names, and with those people down, looks like Squid Squad is going to need to push back and regroup.
It was a little bit scary there for burn damage because burn damage just looks like they're pretty much focusing on trying to shut down, dive comps like Farah on that name is on that Farah and Kremen on that Genji, and as a result, they don't have that Reinhardt, and they just lost a lot of space there. But it looks like they made it work as OWUL does manage to get a 2-man res, and they're about to push in here as burn damage is about to defend this point.
Yes, that res was lifesaver as it required them to keep on fighting. The Pulse Bomb is going to be coming out, but doesn't quite get anyone. Sound Barrier is going to be popped as well as Dragon Blade. There goes the other Sound Barrier, and Winston is also popping Primal Rage. Charmy is going to be taken out there with the Graviton coming out from Kaito, as well as that famous combo with Nightmare. He does manage to take out one of their healers, Flav on Lucio, and looks like even though Tracer was in that backline, she does get taken out by Red, and looks like they're going to be holding on at this point.
Yeah, it was pretty solid play there by burn damage on the back there. Genji, or Obesity was trying to get a nice pick with that Dragon Blade, but unfortunately he got shut down by Red Koala doing his job pretty well. And I think he did manage to get a pick, but didn't get too much done with that Dragon Blade. So overall, really good defense, despite the fact that the burn damage is getting a lot of space here.
As one of their supports is going to be falling down, Smurf does use his Pulse Bomb to take out Kaito. Kaito is taken out, and Names is going to be taking out Nightmare here. Rocket Barrage is going to be coming out from Names, takes out both supports. That basically halts their push here, as that res is going to be coming out from OVA, does res Obesity, enabling them to have the extra damage to take out Grizzly, and at this point, it looks like it's going to be taken. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be taken.
Yeah, the name has made a huge play there. The push was pretty much over for Squid Squad, but after getting that 2 big picks on the supports, especially on Charming on that Mercy, because she was ready to go for that res, and the name is just shuts it down with that Rocket Barrage. So great job for the name is for saving the push essentially and getting their team onto the first point.
And it looks like they're going to be trying to contest towards their spawn as this Pulse Bomb is going to be coming out from Smurf doesn't quite get anyone. Primal Rage is going to be coming in as well with Sound Barrier from Lucky Owl. Both teams are fighting back and forth. Winston's are in their opponent's backlines trying to focus on their supports as Nightmare does finish off live here. The Dragon Blades is coming out from Grizz's and he's really trying to focus on Kaito, but doesn't quite manage to take him out as Grimlet is in there just focusing on the opponent's team. Does finish off Rez and Nightmare. Smurf is huge Rez off Charming, does Rez Kaito and Nightmare, but Names with that Rocket Barrage just try to delete that. Nightmare with the Rocket Barrage and OVA with that huge Rez continuing the push as they finished off blue team here and they're going to be pushing the cart.
Yeah, interesting res there at the end. They didn't really need it, but you know, the 3-man res, you know, you can't really pass that up. And it looks like the Name Is and friends on side of Squid Squad is just pushing on through here. We have 2 on the payload, and we have the Squid Squad just trying to push in against their team. And it looks like Burn Damage isn't handling this too well, even though they are fighting. Looks like a 4v5. It looks like they are still having a little bit of a hard time against Squid Squad as they are getting dived on and managed to get pushed against the county jail here.
Yeah, Names has been trying to take out Charming, who is on Mercy. Grimmer does pop his Primal Rage, focusing on Charming, who they know is close to Rez. Taking you out does enable them to stop her from getting percentage, as looks like they're going to be pushing this cart. Winston is going to be jumping in more, trying to focus on getting them staggered, just trying to secure this point in general, as the Rocket Barrage is going to be coming out from Names. Funny enough, he does kill himself with his own Rocket Barrage. It looks like both supports are babysitting the point as they're going to be taking the second point.
Burn Damage was not ready to go against that high ground there. When they came out of the building, Squid Squad essentially had that salute on lock with, you know, the Name Is on that Pharah just taking control of the high ground. And as a result, Burn Damage didn't really know how to handle it. Even though Red Koala was on that Winston, you know, the Name Is was just able to fly around that and still continue to harass the backline. So great job on Burn Damage for able to capitalize on that dive kill.
Yes, and throughout this fight we see, there's a sound barrier. It's going to be coming out from Lucky Owl here as one DPS does go down to Nightmare. Winston's going to be jumping in, trying to kill Nightmare, who's really focusing on OVA. Both teams are breaking out in a team fight right now, as they're all trying to focus their respective partners, as OVA is using Names to fly around. Charming with that Rez is Nightmare and Lucky Owl, and that Graviton does come out, doesn't really get capitalized on, as Tac Visor is going to be coming out, as well as a Rez from OVA, solo resing Lucio here. Grizzly with that Tac Visor just finish off Smurf, and Primal Rage is going to be coming out from Winston. They're trying to stay on at this point. Looks like they're finishing off Charming, which is a huge pick. Also, Lucky Owl is down. That's what they need to push in, as it looks like they're pushing the cart. And Winston does get taken out there. And that's what they need to push the cart around the corner and maybe take the point.
And Burn Damage finally turned around there with Kaito getting a nice Graviton Surge, getting like 2 or 3 people, as well as Nightmare getting a nice Rocket Barrage as well. But unfortunately, it looks like the spawns were so close, and Squid Squad just pretty much rolled on through one at a time by having such a close spawn advantage. And looks like Dragon Blade's gonna get popped here to dive on the backline for the final fight.
Yeah, so basically does single out that Mercy, which is a huge pick because they know she is close to Rez yet again. And with her out of the fight, that Rez is basically not going to be used, as Kermit does manage to finish off Lucky Owl before he does his sound barrier there, as Names is going to be popping his Rocket Barrage, does manage to take out my Grizzly, and this point's going to be going to Red Team.
Yeah, and Squid Squad just rolled on through there with the previous fight going to their favor. Burn Damage really didn't have an answer since they used pretty much all their ults there, Graviton Surge, Rocket Barrage, and all that just in front of the garage. And as a result, when Squid Squad just rolled on through with their ults, Burn Damage didn't really have an answer, and they lost that fight just because they just had more ults. So good job there by Burn Damage for just capitalizing on that.
Definitely. I really liked how they were focusing down Charming there because they know she had res. Mercy gets res pretty quickly. She heals a lot from of her team, and they knew she had res most of those fights. So they focused her out, and they able to take her out first before even the team fights broke out, and then they could use that to secure the team fight because they knew once they used their ultimates, the enemies weren't going to be coming back.
Yeah, and this happened more than once too, because the first time, I think the name is managed to pop right in with the rocket barrage on the first point, and that shut down the res as well. And I think one other time happened during the saloon part as well. And then at the end there, you saw that the Mercy res got shut down again by Dragon Blade on Name's. So unfortunate that they couldn't get these reses off, as she just gets hunted down. So we're gonna see if Burn Damage, decides to defend her more, or are they just gonna keep running? They're just gonna run this dive comp and just to see who can play it better, because it looks like that's what they're gonna do, running that Winston, that Pharah, and that Mercy.
Definitely. In about 3 seconds, we're going to be underway. Both teams are running some form of dive, as we're gonna have 2 Winstons, 2 Genjis, coming out for each team. Excuse me. And we're going to see a Red immediately jump in here, and also Krimla is on his backside trying to stop him from coming in, as Red gets singled out, and he does get finished off. However, Names does go a little too deep and he gets finished off as well. Genji is on that objective, but he is all alone because the rest of his team has died. Looks like Burn Damage is going to need to back off here and try to regroup.
Good rotation there by Squid Squad, managing to see the push and reacting accordingly. Even though they both had Winston's leap on against each other, Squid Squad managed to go up to the house and just defend that really well, even though Burn Damage is all right there. It looks like Cribbit gets a nice pick on Kato as well, and Burn Damage is going to have a little bit of a hard time pushing in here.
Yeah, Kermit does focus down Soldier, which is what Winston's supposed to do, and he did it well. He focused on Soldier, and he took him out. And without Soldier and Lucky Alna, who's on Mercy, they're going to have to fall back immediately and regroup, because they lost their major healer and one of their major DPSs, as well as Names finishes off Charming, which is a huge pick, because now Charming is staggered, and without that Ana, who is close to Nano Boost, they're going to need to wait a little bit before she gets back.
Yeah, and watch out for that in the combo next fight. Kato with that Tactical Visor and Charming holding up that Nano Visor, or Nano Boost here soon, because that's going to shut down a lot. That's going to shut down Pharah 100% for sure, and it's going to shut down Mercy and Lucio if they do play it right. But it looks like they are going to push in here, as Kermit gets a nice pick on Frizzy, and Tactical Visor does get deployed.
Tac Visor is going to be deployed. Lucky Owl is coming out with that res. Res is both Rizzy and Red. Rocket Barrage is coming out from Nightmare, basically killing McCree, who is in the middle of High Noon. But OVA, with that res, also reses McCree and Lucio. And both teams are trading back and forth, as Winston is getting pocketed by Lucky Owl, who's trying to stay alive, trying to hold on to this push. But without his team, he's going to need to back up, as Krimlet does focus down Lucky Owl, and Lucky Owl does get taken out again. It looks like Burn Damage is going to need to refocus and regroup here, as Grizzly does fall back.
And Burn Damage just really needed to coordinate their ults there. They had the Dragon Blade and the Nano Boost up after they used all their ults, like Tactical Visor and Rocket Barrage, and they really just needed to coordinate there, just because that tactical, or that nano boost just needed to go on someone, and it looks like they're not going to have, they are going to have their ults soon here, but they would have more time if they coordinated their ults there at the 1 minute 30 mark. But it looks like they're going to have to regroup, rebuild their ults, and just have one more push rather than having another possible push if they just stuck together.
Yes, it's going to be coming down to 40 seconds left, and Smurf gets a huge pick on Charming. They're going to have no Nano Boost, maybe for this last fight, as he gets taken out so late into the game. Krumla is going to be focusing on their backline. He's jumping straight in with that Primal Rage, but a really nice sleep. But he immediately gets woken up. Smurf with the Rocket Barrage just focus down and take out Lucky Owl. Grimlet just focused on that Soldier and takes him out as well, with both Charming and Soldier down, both their main healer and main DPS. It's with only 9 seconds left. They're going to have to rush to try to get overtime on this point, as High Noon is going to be coming out with Obesity. Just take out both supports. With both supports down, it's going to be really hard to sustain in this fight, as they have to really stagger in here and try to contest as best they can. But Kremlin on that Winston takes out both DPS, and looks like this point is going to be held.
And that was a great High Noon by Obesity there. Realistically, Burn Damage had one more push, despite the fact that they were coordinated there 2 fights ago. They did have one more chance to push in with all their ults, but Obesity gets a nice High Noon, gets both supports holding on to ults, and as a result, they just pretty much got rolled over at their last push, fighting a 4v6. So great job there by Obesity. Great play, great High Noon.
Definitely, that High Noon really secured their victory there. Without their supports, they had the Mercy Res. Without that Mercy Res, there was really no hope to take back that first push, because they were so staggered towards the end.
So we have Trumu here again. Trumu, what did you think about that last map on Hollywood? Yeah, the name is, and I forgot the other DPS player, but they both did a really good job of pushing in and fighting against the other dive comp and just shutting them down, especially on the payload part of Hollywood, or like, you know, when they first started going to that saloon. They showed really good space control by getting on top of the saloon and, you know, just pushing them back to the warehouse. Even though they were fighting 4v6, they were still able to fight against them by really good positioning and really good play.
Definitely. What I noticed Squid Squad doing is every time Burn Damage attacked, they had a plan. They knew exactly who they were going to focus, and they focused them out, they took them out, and they were able to defend that point. What I noticed what Burn Damage was doing, they were going in sometimes as a team, but they didn't really have a goal in mind. They wanted to take the point, but they didn't have someone they wanted to focus in it, or if they did, they didn't focus them hard enough and to be able to take them out in order to take the point. Yeah,
definitely. And just the on your part about focusing, what do you think? Who do you think is playing the better dive comp here? Because it looks like both teams are pretty much not running standard after like the first few points of King's Row, and both teams are opting to run that dive comp. So who do you think is and Trumo, I'm going to ask you, who do you think is going to run this better dive comp here in Dorado? Yeah, thanks for that, True Move. And yeah, that's a good point on attack and defense, because Squid Squad didn't they didn't have a Reinhardt there on Hollywood like you usually see, and as a result, you give up a lot of space, especially in the archway. Like, you just can't hold that, because if you do hold that, you just get rolled over. And Squid Squad did a really good job of just backing up and reading the play, and then diving in for their key targets, whether they're going around the alley, which they didn't really do, but whether they're going around the the top right of the cafe, they managed to get on top of it and take that space back without Reinhardt. So good job there by Squid Squad for knowing how to run that dive comp on defense.
Definitely, and without that Reinhardt, they had a pretty unconventional defense. Well, they almost let the enemy team in, and they kind of surrounded them as they knew exactly where Burn Damage was going. They hopped onto them, and they focused down what they needed to focus. They either took out the supports right away, or they focused on their damage dealers. Kremlin zeroing out Soldier in one of those instances, taking him out, allowing most of the damage from burn damage to be nullified because that Soldier was out of play.
Yeah, and not only that, but they were able to, shut down Genji as well on that Winston, as well as getting, like you said before, getting those nice key picks on Soldier and the supports as well, without really giving up too much defense. With Winston, you're able to hop around and you're able to drop the bubbles, and those bubbles that they dropped was really good strategically. I think 1 point Squid Squad did manage to block a Reinhardt ult and managed to block a Tracer Bomb as well. So Squid Squad doing a really good job making that Winston defense work, not only on just killing things and diving the backline, but just placing really good bubble defense as well.
Most definitely. And as we see here, we got a little glimpse, even though it's paused, we got a glimpse of what each team is going to be playing. On Burn Damage's side, they're going to be running that Winston again. Looks like they're going to be running that dive. Looks like they specialize in dive, so they're going to be running it again. Red is going to be always on. He's going to be on that Winston. Nightmare is going to be on that Pharah again, with Lucky Owl kind of sticking by him, forming that Farmers who we all know and love or hate. Charming is going to be on that Ana, with Proto God on that Soldier being the more consistent damage for the team. And Kaito, we just learned, is going to be on Diva. What do you think about Squid Squad's team?
I really like Squid Squad's team, but I'm not sure how the Soldier is going to play out. I really do like Soldier whenever, because in my mind, I think it's always a pretty solid pick. But if they're going to run this dive-ish comp, then I don't think they need to run this Soldier, because this Pharah has her fair share of damage already, and they don't really need more damage. And, if they want more consistent damage, then I think they should run a different comp, because right now the Soldier is pretty much on his own, trying to make his own plays. And one of the things about Soldier, even my words, it gets a nice pick on Flame on that Lucio as well. But the thing about Soldier is that he's really good at just supporting a traditional backline here. Like if you had a Reinhardt Soldier, that'd be really good. But we're gonna see how it plays out, because Proto God did get a nice pick on Lucio, so we're gonna see if the Soldier is gonna be more effective than I thought.
Obesity is going to be in the back line trying to take out few of his targets, but he does get finished off. Proto God does finish off Mercy, which even though she doesn't have her res, it basically stops her from getting any percentage on that ult charge and allows burn damage to push in here. But Reinhardt, being that barrier, just blocking all his damage. But Proto God does manage to take out Lucio with both of their supports down. Oh, Mercy has just joined their fray again, and Kremlin does manage to take out Charming with a really nice flame strike there. But OVA does also get taken out. Lucky Owl with a really nice res, trying to hold on to this attack at any cost, as Kremlin does go down, and looks like they're going to be getting this first point.
And Proto God on that Soldier proving me wrong, getting like 2 or 3 kills there on that push, and essentially getting it for Squid Squad. Overall, it was really good play by Proto God there. It looks like they played it out by having their dive just kind of come in and just give space for Proto God to do a lot of work, not really necessarily kill anything. I thought they were going to play it like Nightmare going to be on that Pharah is going to be the main damage dealer, but it looks like they're just there to to make space for Proto God to push on through, and it looks like it's working as Proto God deploys Tactical Advisor in the high ground.
Really nice hook by Obesity, just completely nullifies Proto God's Tac Visor there. And it looks like with that, as the red team is really wanting to push, and they only have one person on the payload right now. They really want to push, but they get punished for it, as Name does get 2 picks, and they really want to hold this defense here. It looks like they could be holding this corner, as without their main damage dealers, they're going to need to fall back and regroup.
Yeah, and that was a little bit of an interesting play by Burn Damage there, because like you said before, it was only Charming on that payload, and the rest of the team was pushing on through. And Proto God did deploy Tactical Advisor, and just try to get an early pick off, and they were just trying to get that high ground and trying to stop them, just like Squid Squad tried to, but it unfortunately did not pay off, as Obesity gets a nice hook, and then from there, they kind of just shut down the push from not having Charming in that fight 100%.
It looks like Brad's going to be trying to take the high ground. He's looking to go into their backline, trying to focus on their Mercy, as the default is going to be coming out, managing to take out Trimlet, which with their main tank down, it allows Red Team to push in, as Lucio also does get taken out. But OVN with the save, with a really nice res. This is both tanks and a healer, basically stopping Burn Damage's push entirely, as the DPS does their work, taking out Protogod and Lucky Owl. The Rocket Barrage is going to be coming out from Smurf, but gets Defense Matrix out of the air by Kaito there, but this point is held.
And that was really interesting play, because that was pretty much their play. That was pretty much Burn Damage's fight to beat. But the one Smurf on Squid Squad got a lot of time on both Ana and Mercy, and Protogod on Soldier was supposed to be taking care of that, but they decided to opt and just push against the team, and as a result, like, the one Smurf just got way too much time on both supports and managed to take them out, and Squid Squad managed to come back on the back of those 2 picks. So overall, that was really good play by the one Smurf on that Pharah on the side of Squid Squad, but it was really unfortunate to see that Protogod was not able to handle the Pharah without a Mercy.
And it looks like Nightmare is going to be picked off early, as well as Protogod, so both of their DPS are down. Looks like they were trying to go behind, but they are getting attacked from both sides. Lucky Owl is going to pop that res, however. He is going to try to res the other healer in Protogod, but Protogod, with that attack visor, only taking out Smurf, but because they knew where they were attacked from, they collapsed from both sides and just destroyed their push, even before they even got to the point.
Yeah, and they collapsed them really hard there. Burn Damage was not really together on that push. When you want to go around there, you generally want to go together and take that position yourself, but they were a little bit staggered, and as a result, Squid Squad just, trampled them on the on both the high ground and the low ground. But it looks like Burn Damage here is going to be a little bit sneaky, trying to take onto the payload, but it looks like they are going to fall back and push against this lone Roadhog.
A Roadhog does, Obesity does pop his whole hog there, trying to take out Reinhardt, but does get taken out in the church. Red does have a really funky charge there, finishing off Grimlet. And it looks like Pharmercy is doing its job, focusing down the enemy team, taking them out. And Smurf with a really sneaky Rocket Barrage, finishing off Lucky Owl, managing to hold on to this point with pretty much only Kaito left, but he does get taken out by Smurf.
And Kermit saying what? Because that charge, like I said before, was really funky. It looked really weird, but it manages to kill him, and he's a little bit confused about that. And yeah, that push was a little bit uncoordinated on the side of Burn Damage. They managed to get the charge off, but the 2 supports were kind of straggled behind, and they got picked off. But speaking of face off, looks like Obesity gets picked off by Charming here on Ana, and Burn Damage does not have enough time to push to the payload, and the first round is complete.
Yeah, so as we saw, Squid Squad knows exactly who to focus during a team fight, and just hop into the backline of Burn Damage most of the time. And especially, we saw when Burn Damage tried to go behind and basically got taken from 2 sides, one from behind, one from in the front, and basically got squashed and got taken out from both sides. But I do think Burn Damage is doing a better job than they did last time, because they did protect their Mercy a little bit better. Charming wasn't getting taken out over and over again, which I always like to see, a Mercy getting protected by her team. And as well, Nightmare was able to focus on their support, Squid Squad supports, taking them out as well. What do you think about both teams' performance so far?
Yeah, like you said before, Charming is definitely getting defended better, and I think part of that is the composition changes they've been running. They are running that Soldier, and it looks like they're opting to stay away from that dive comp type of defense on this side of defense here on the Rado, opting in for that Reinhardt instead, and the Roadhog, which I think is better defense, and as a result, I think you're going to see Charming get defended better here, even if she is on Ana or she's on Mercy. It's definitely going to be an easier time for Charming here running with those two tanks rather than Winston and Zarya.
Most definitely. And I'm not gonna talk about the Torbjorn because they're probably gonna switch him off.
Yeah, I'll fall for it, man.
I'm not gonna fall for it. But I'm wondering if the Widow pick is legit because I know it might be difficult, but you can get some nice picks off Widow if you're good enough. But we're going to be seeing from Burn Damage a traditional comp with Reinhardt as their main tank.
Yeah, it looks like Squid Squad here is going to be opting for that Winston instead of that Torbjorn. Looks like Winston's going to be here running around the back here. This strat's going to take a little bit longer because this Crimit on that Winston is going to be in the back, going to sneak up and take care of that high ground. And meanwhile, we have the name is on the back, all the way in the back, on that Widowmaker. I'm not really sure what's going on here. As always, shooting over the high ground. This Crimit gets a nice first pick, and it looks like Squid Squad is starting things off really well, getting a nice pick on those supports.
You know, they really spread out, and that Widowmaker is doing work in that backline. I haven't really seen this before, and I am pleasantly surprised to see how effective it actually was. Winston and Widowmaker running the backline, and they did serious work, taking Widowmaker getting 2 picks, Winston finishing off some as well, and they basically collapsed onto burn damage, just like they did when they were on attack.
Yeah, that was a really fun play to watch. Crimit on that Winston starting things off, getting a pick on Charming, and even though I said that Charming was gonna be well defended, it looks like they were not ready for this offense here with Crimit and the name running that Winston Widowmaker, and the name is still going off, taking out both Roadhog and Winston, and it looks like burn damage here is just going, or Squid Squad is just going to go on through.
Yes, that was a really unconventional attack, but it worked off really well with him basically popping his high noon here straight into the Reinhardt barrier. But he takes him out, and also they're really diving in, just like burn damage did, as Crim does get punished for going in a little too far, but he immediately gets rezzed by OVA, and I really like that res because it allows them to keep up their momentum and keep pushing even into burn damage's spawn.
Yeah, it looks like burn damage here is a little bit spread out actually, because we have D.Va going against the Widowmaker, but it looks like the rest of burn damage is still having a hard time with the rest of Squid Squad, and it looks like Baby D.Va does get demeched here, and we have a Mercy D.Va standoff here. Doesn't manage to kill each other, but it looks like Squid Squad manages to push on through and take the map.
Yeah, I really loved that attack by Squid Squad. I haven't really seen that before, and it was really exciting to see them use their strategy, and it was a really fun play to watch. Burn damage wasn't really ready for it because they were I can't even say that word. They were really surprised, just as we were, to see that coming out. As she lucky out here getting to play the game for 2 reses there. Trumu, what do you think of that Dorado game?
Yeah, I think Squid Squad, like you said before, did a good job there, especially at the end with that kind of fun Winston Widowmaker strat there, and it looks like the scrim is going to be coming at an end. And overall, I really like that set. I really like the both teams running the dive comps just to see how it plays out on both attack and defense, and I really like to see the Winston plays on both sides, capitalizing on diving in the backline and defending the team, and it was just really fun to watch both backlines go at it and both dive comps go at it.
Yes, and it was really a treat to see that surprising Widowmaker play on attack there at the last point, last a game of Dorado, and overall, really nice plays by both teams. Just as Feeney said, I really enjoy watching Dive Comp work. It's one of the best comps in my opinion in Overwatch because it provides the fastest gameplay, and even though it's hard to run, both teams ran it extremely well, showing that they can pull up some pretty nice plays with it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we're going to be ending the stream here. So with that, I am Feeney.
And I'm Kabooks.
And we are both signing off. We hope you enjoyed the stream. And if you're interested in learning more about us or how you can get involved in the largest recreational Overwatch League, follow the link to the subreddit page in the channel's description. And from there, you can follow Overwatch University by joining the Discord channel. And you can find official Overwatch University channel at twitch.tv/OWUL University. And again, thank you, Overwatch University, for giving us this opportunity for casting scrims, casting matches. You'll actually catch Kabooks and I tomorrow at the midweek brawl, is that what it's called? But tomorrow at the midweek pug event for Overwatch University. So thank you guys again for watching, and we hope to see you next time.